Namaste everyone. Welcome to Prepare with Lakshmi. Today we'll be discussing about Prothalamion by Edmund Spenser. Prothalamion, or a spousal verse in honor of the double marriage of Lady Elizabeth and Lady Catherine Somerset, is a poem by Edmund Spenser, one of the important poets of the Tudor period in England. Published in 1596, it is a nuptial song that he composed that year on the occasion of the twin marriage of the daughters of the Earl of Worcester, Elizabeth Somerset and Catherine Somerset, to Henry Guildford and William Peter, respectively. Prothalamion is written in the conventional form of a marriage song. The poem begins with a description of the river Thames, where Spenser finds two beautiful maidens. The poet proceeds to praise them and wishing them all the blessings for their marriages. The poem begins with a fine description of the day when on which he is writing the poem. Calm was the day, and through the trembling air the sweet breathing Zephyrus did softly play. The poet is standing near the Thames River and finds a group of nymphs with baskets collecting flowers for the new brides. The poet tells us that they are happily making the bridal crowns for Elizabeth and Catherine. He goes on his poem describing two swans at the Thames, relating it to the myth of Joe and Leda. According to the myth, Joe falls in love with Leda and comes to court her in the guise of a beautiful swan. The poet feels that the Thames has done justice to his nuptial song by flowing softly according to his request. Sweet Thames, run softly till I end my song. The poem is often grouped with Spenser's poem about his own marriage, the Epithalamion. American-born British poet T.S. Eliot quotes the line, "Sweet Thames, run softly till I end my song" in his 1922 poem The Wasteland, which is an important poem for our syllabus too. English composer George Dyson set words from Prothalamion to music in his 1954 cantata Sweet Thames, Run Softly. Calm was the day, and through the trembling air, sweet breathing Zephyrus did softly play, a gentle spirit that lightly did delay hot Titan's beams, which then did glister fair, when I, whom sullen care, through discontent of my long fruitless stay in Prince's court, and expectation vain of idle hopes, which still do fly away like empty shadows, did afflict my brain, walk forth to ease my pain along the shore of silver streaming Thames, whose rooty bank, the which his river hems, was painted all with variable flowers, and all the meads adorned with dainty gems, fit to deck maiden bowers, and crown their paramours against the bridal day, which is not long. Sweet Thames, run softly till I end my song. Now here, in the first stanza, the poet is saying, calm was the day was calm, and through the trembling air means the breeze was soft, the wind was blowing, the breeze was soft and cool. Sweet breathing means cool breeze. Zephyrus means the Greek god of west wind. He is saying the wind was playing softly, a gentle spirit that delayed the sun, hot rays of the sun, that delayed a little bit. Lightly did delay means a little bit. It delayed the hot sun rays, which did glister fair. Later what happened? It was a bright day, but it was not so hot. When he is talking about himself, the poet himself, he is saying, whom sullen care, his mood was sullen, he was moody, he had a bad mood. Why? Through discontent of my long fruitless stay in Prince's court. Now he is going to a prince's court, that is his office. Okay, there he was discontent. Discontent means unsatisfied after a long day at office. And expectation vain. Why he was unsatisfied? Because his expectations of idle hopes. He had some hopes. So Spencer wanted better prospects in Elizabethan court, but here he said expectation vain. Vain means useless. His expectations or the hopes became useless and flew away like empty shadows. Means his expectation, the hopes did not come to fruition. Okay, this upset his brain. He said this afflict my brain. Did afflict my brain means this upset his brain, and that is why in order to ease the pain, what did he do? He took a walk along the shore of the Thames River. Silver streaming means the water is so pure that it looks like a silver flowing Thames. Okay, whose rooty bank means there are a number of plants along the bank, and that is why the bank was full of roots of the plants, the which his river hems means the along the bank there were many plants which are painted all with variable flowers. There were many flowers along the bank, and these flowers can be used, these meadows adorned with dainty gems. Now he is saying these meadows were adorned means decorated with dainty gems means beautiful flowers which are fit to deck maidens' bowers. He is saying these flowers are fit to decorate maidens' chambers and crown their paramours. They can wear the crown of these flowers. Such beautiful flowers he can see around the bank of river Thames. And he is saying against the bridal day. Now we can know this is a bridal day. He is writing this poem as a spousal verse for bridal day of Elizabeth and Catherine Somerset, which is not long. It's not going to be long for their bridal day. Sweet Thames, run softly till I end my song. Poet is requesting Thames River to run along softly. There in a meadow by the river's side, a flock of nymphs I chanced to espy, all lovely daughters of the flood thereby, with goodly greenish locks, all loose and tied, as each had been a bride, and each one had a little wicker basket made of fine twigs, entrailed curiously, in which they gathered flowers to fill their flasket, and with fine fingers cropped full fitiously the tender stalks on high, hay of every sort which in that meadow grew. They gathered some, the violet, pallid blue, the little daisy that at evening closes, the virgin lily and the primrose true, with store of vermeil roses to deck their bridegroom's posies. Against the bridal day, which was not long, sweet Thames, run softly till I end my song. Now here the poet is saying there in a meadow means a grassland, okay, by the river side, along the grassland by the river side, he saw a flock of nymphs, a group of nymphs. I chanced to espy means he chanced on, he was not planning on looking at them, but he got a chance to look at them, to spy on them. And here he is talking about daughters of the flood. These nymphs, who are they? Lovely daughters of the flood. Who are they? They are supernatural maidens known for their purity. He is talking about them, and he is saying they are having the goodly greenish locks. Locks means their hair. Their hair was all untied, means it was flowing freely. It was not tied along, it was untied, it was not bound together, as each had been a bride. He is comparing each of the nymph to be a bride, means they are looking so beautiful, and each one of the nymphs was carrying a little wicker basket which was made of fine twigs. What is entrailed curiously means finely entwined. Okay, they are all the fine twigs were fairly entwined to make a beautiful basket. In that basket, what were they gathering? They were gathering the flowers to fill their flasket. Flasket is nothing but a basket. Okay, they were filling that basket with the flowers. What kind of flowers? He is saying with fine fingers cropped full fitiously the tender stalks and hay. He is saying They were cut finely, plucked delicately. Those crop of flowers were plucked delicately by them, and which were growing on the hay, on the stalks of hay, on the grass. Okay, on the stalk, thin stalk, tender stalks means thin stalks. These flowers were growing and they were delicately cut by these nymphs of every sort. He is saying what kind of flowers they were cutting from the tender stalks of hay of every sort, means there were many different kinds of flowers. In that meadow grew what kind of flowers they were growing over there, and what they were collecting, gathering. The violet, pallid blue, the flower violet, which is blue in color, the little daisy, which closes in the evening, the virgin lily, means white, purity. White is a symbol of virginity, so he is saying virgin lily, the lily is white in color. And the primrose true, primroses with store of vermeil roses. Vermeil means scarlet color. Vermilion, you know, vermilion is a scarlet color, darkish red in color, to deck their bridegroom's posies. Why are they collecting the flowers over here in their baskets? Because they wanted to decorate the bridegroom's posies. Posies means what? It's bouquets. Okay, they are making bouquets. The poet happens to see a group of nymphs along the banks of the river. Here the poet says these nymphs are the supernatural maidens known for their purity, and their hair was loose and it was falling to their shoulders, and they were collecting flowers to prepare bouquets. What kind of flowers they were collecting? They were collecting white lilies, red roses, tulips, violets and daisies. With that, I saw two swans of goodly hue come softly swimming down along the lea. Two fairer birds I yet did never see. The snow which doth the top of Pindus strew did never whiter show. Nor Jove himself, when he a swan would be, for love of Leda, whiter did appear. Yet Leda was, they say, as white as he, yet not so white as these, nor nothing near. So purely white they were that even the gentle stream, the which them bare, seemed to fall to them, and bade his billows spare to wet their silken feathers, lest they might soil their fair plumes with water not so fair, and mar their beauties bright that shone as heaven's light against the bridal day, which was not long. Sweet Thames, run softly till I end my song. Now here the poet is saying he saw two swans of goodly hue, means these two swans are looking so beautiful, so pleasant in appearance, representing the brides. He is comparing Elizabeth and Catherine Somerset to swans. He is saying coming softly swimming down along the Lea. Now here Lea may be the Thames itself, the river Thames itself, or he might be talking about Leah. Okay, this is a river Leah which comes and mixes in Thames. That is, the stream comes and runs into the Thames river. He is talking about Leah or the Thames itself, the stream of Thames itself. He says these two fairer birds means white birds, I yet did never see the snow which at the top of Pindus strew. Now Pindus is a mountainous region along the western boundary of the Thessalian plain in Greece. On the western boundary, he is talking over the mountain. The snow is so white, but when he compared these birds to that whiteness, the Pindus strew was not whiter than these snow. These birds, okay, these birds are so fair that even if he compares this with the snow, they cannot compare. These birds are more whiter than the snow over the Pindus mountain. Nor Jove himself, when he a swan would be, means as a swan, Jove, what did he do? He raped Leda. He wanted Leda and he raped her. As a swan, he goes and rapes her. he was whiter. He did appear whiter. Yet Leda was as white as he. He is saying Leda was also as white as Joe when he was a swan, yet not so white as these. So he is comparing these two fair swans and saying even Joe and Leda were not as fair as when compared to these two swans. He is saying these are more fairer to the Greek god and goddess themselves, nor nothing near so purely white they were. Means he could not compare to anything else that was so purely white, that even the gentle stream the which them bare seemed to fall to them and bade his billows pair to wet their silken feathers. He is saying the gentle stream, the stream of Thames river was silvery, means was white and very pure, to which them bare seemed fall to them. Seemed fall to them means seemed dirty when you compare to the whiteness or purity of the swans. The water flowing in the Thames same dirty. Fall means dirty. And bade his billows swear means he is requesting the Thames river to not produce waves and touch the silken feathers of the these swans and make them dirty. He is requesting, do not dirty the fair feathers of the swan which are flowing gently through the waters of Thames. So he is saying, bade his billows spare to wet their silken feathers. Means the poet is saying the water should not, he orders the waves, don't touch the plumes or the feathers or silken feathers of these swans and make them dirty, lest they might soil their fair plumes with water not so fair. So he is saying this water will soil, will dirty the fair plumes, fair feathers, because water is not so fair and it will mar their beauties bright. Marring means what? To mar their beauties means it will hurt the beauty. It will discolor the beauty of the bright beauty of the swans that shone as heaven's light. The color was so bright that it was like a heaven's light that shines as a heaven's light against their bridal day, which was not long. Sweet Thames, run softly till I end my song. So here the poet is saying that Spenser is saying he sees two swans that was swimming across the river which looked whiter than Jupiter. Joe is a Jupiter who disguised himself as a swan to win the love of Leda, and he was not able to resist and he raped Leda. Okay, here he is saying like Leda himself and Jupiter himself, when he compared to the swans, they were not as pure as these two swans. The river Thames, he requests river Thames to not dirty the wings, the fair plumes or feathers of the swans with their dirty water. Eftsoons, the nymphs, which now had flowers their fill, ran all in haste to see that silver brood as they came floating on the crystal flood, whom when they saw they stood amazed still, their wondering eyes to fill. Then seemed they never saw a sight so fair or foul, so lovely, that they sure did deem them heavenly born, ought to be that same pair which through the sky draw Venus' silver Thames. For sure they did not seem to be begot of any earthly seed, but rather angels, or of angels' breed. Yet were they bred of summer's heat, they say, in sweetest season, when each flower and weed the earth did fresh array, so fresh they seemed as day, even as their bridal day, which was not long. Sweet Thames, run softly till I end my. Now, eftsoons means in the due course, means over the period of time. The nymphs had the flowers full of the baskets. The nymphs were able to collect gather so many flowers to fill their baskets, ran all in haste to see the silver brood as they came floating. Who are the silver brood? Here the two swans which came floating over the crystal flood. Now crystal here means bright shining water. They came floating over the shining water, and all these nymphs ran in haste. Haste means they hurried along to look at those beautiful swans which are described as silver brood. And then the poet is saying, whom when they saw, means these nymphs when they saw the swans, they stood amazed still, means they were not able to move, they were dumbstruck and stood still in their place, their wondering eyes to fill. They were filling their eyes by looking at the beautiful swans. As long as they look at them, they were so beautiful, and they kept on looking at them. Them seen, they never saw a sight so fair of fowls. Fowls means birds. Okay, it seemed to them that they never saw such a pair of fair beautiful birds. Such a fair beautiful birds they have never seen, so lovely that they sure did deem them heavenly born. Means the nymphs thought that these pair of birds do not belong to the earth. They are obviously come from heaven because they look like angels. And the poet is comparing them to Venus silver team. Means sky draw Venus silver team, means silver team means a group of, a pair of, here not group, a pair of swans used to draw the chariot of Venus. So here he is comparing these swans to the swans which draw the chariot of Venus. He says that they look like a pair of swans which draw the chariot of Venus because they are heavenly born. They do not belong to. Now here he says, for sure they did not seem to be begot of any earthly seed. Means earthly seed means they are not produced. Begot means offspring. They are not gotten. They are not produced as an offspring on the earth. Rather they look like angels, of angels breed, means they are of heavenly abode. They look like angels themselves, yet were they bred of Somer's heat. Now here Somerset is the surname of Elizabeth and Catherine, and here he is saying yet were they bred of, but they were bred by Somerset. Here he throws in the surname of Catherine, the brides, the Catherine and Elizabeth. He says yet they are not of angels breed, but they are bred from Somerset lineage. They say in sweetest season, when they were produced in the sweetest season, when each flower and weed the earth did fresh array, means earth, when the earth arranged flowers and weeds, that in that sweet season they were born, they were produced, they were procured. You can say they were begotten. Okay, so fresh they seemed as day, means as fair as a day they seemed, even as a bridal day which was not long. Sweet themes run softly till I end my song. That means the nymphs were all dumbstruck watching the swans swimming across the river. The swans are he is comparing these swans to the swans which were drawing the chariot of Venus, okay, goddess Venus, and they are so pure, so white that the nymphs were awestruck by their beauty. Then forth they all out of their basket drew great store of flowers, the honour of the field, that to the sense did fragrant odours yield, all which upon those goodly birds they threw, and all the waves did strew, that like old Peneus waters they did seem, when down along by pleasant Tempe's shore, scattered with flowers through Thessaly they stream, that they appear through lilies plenteous store, like as bride's chamber floor. Two of those nymphs, meanwhile, two garlands bound of freshest flowers, which in that mead they found, the which presenting all in trim array, their snowy foreheads therewithal they crowned, whilst one did sing this lay, prepared against that day, against their bridal day, which was not long. Sweet Thames, run softly till I end my song. Now here, then forth they all out of their baskets drew, means these nymphs they drew out from their baskets, means they removed from their baskets great store of flowers, many flowers. The honor of the field means the best of the field. You can say the best flowers of the field they took out, and that to the sense did fragrant odors yield. When they removed the flowers, the fragrance of the flowers was filled, the atmosphere was filled with the fragrance of the flowers, the yield which they have procured these flowers. Okay, they are very fragrant odors, they threw very fragrant odors, all which upon those goodly birds they threw. The nymphs, what did they do? They collected all these flowers and they threw them over those two birds. Now here we have to remember that these two swans represent the brides, Elizabeth and Catherine Somerset, and all the waves did strew. What did we say in the beginning? That these two swans were floating on the river Thames. Okay, now all the waves were scattered over. When they threw the flowers over the brides, the flowers were scattered over the waves did strew that like old Peneus waters. Now he is alluding to Peneus. This is a river that flows through the Tempe valley in Thessaly. See here he is using pleasant Tempe shores scattered with flowers through Thessaly. This stream means it flows through Thessaly. This Peneus is a river that flows through Tempe valley in Thessaly between Mount Ossa and Mount Olympus. The implication is the Peneus river is laden with flowers. Like how it is laden with lilies, like a bridal chamber floor. How the bridal chamber floor will be full of strewn with the lilies, with the flowers. Like that the river will be strewn with flowers. It is what it looks when the swans were floating through the water, and these nymphs, when they threw flowers over them, the Thames looked exactly like Peneus waters. Okay. Two of those nymphs, meanwhile, two of the nymphs, two garlands bound, means they made garlands of freshest flowers which they found in the mead, in the meadow. Okay, freshest flower they collected, they trimmed it and they arranged it in a garland, and their snowy foreheads they had therewithal they crowned. Means snowy foreheads means the fair forehead of the swans. They crowned the two garlands on the foreheads of the swans, whilst one did, means one of the nymph, sing this lay. This lay means lyric. This song she sang, prepared against the day. Spenser has made this song for that particular day, so the nymph sang this particular song. Okay, so against their bridal day, which was not long, sweet Thames, run softly till I end my song. So the nymphs also prepared a song, and the wedding song, and all the among all the fragrance of flowers, the Thames exactly look like the Peneus river, and this is the river which flows along the Tempe into the Thalassian. Okay, this is a river, Tempe valley in Thessaly between Mount Ossa and Mount Olympus. This was the end of part 1 of Prothalamion. I will be putting up part 2 as soon as possible. I hope this was clear to you. Whatever I have explained in Prothalamion was clear to you. I look forward to meeting you in my next video. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.